Welcome back, everybody. So, I am sure that you, just like me, have been watching and rewatching this trailer just over and over again, obsessing over every detail. Like the views, as of recording right now, they're up to like 4.2 million. They're going to be higher by the time this video goes up because that's how numbers and time work. But anyway, it's crazy. People are loving this trailer, or at least they're watching it a lot. And I've been watching like reaction videos because they're just so fun watching people, both book fans and non-book fans, watching and reacting to this trailer. It is a blast. I'm entirely obsessed. I'm loving this. But of course, in all of these rewatches, I have more thoughts. Shocking. I know. So I thought, yes, I will share them with you because that's kind of why I have a channel, is to be able to tell people my thoughts. And so, yeah. So this is not going to be in any really specific order or anything. It's kind of scattershot. I just have like literally just notes on my phone, and I'm just going to be telling you my thoughts from the notes on my phone. Editing Lesby jumping in here. Been a while. Hey guys. I forgot to give a spoiler warning on this video. This video is going to have spoilers for the book. So if you have not finished the books, I'm going to say up until, what is it? Crown of Swords, I think it's book 7 of Wheel of Time. If you haven't gone that far into the series, then sorry. Can't watch the video. Or, I mean, you can. I'm not the boss to you. Do what you want. But just giving you a heads up. The first thought is actually, it's not even like a revelation or anything, but it is interesting to me. It's that we see this Winter Night battle. In the books, obviously the Winter Night battle is awful, but we don't actually really know. Do we hear of anybody who dies in the Winter's Night battle in the books? Like, Tam gets wounded, but he gets wounded, like, out at the Althora farm. Does anybody in Emond's Field die? We're gonna see somebody die. There's a shot of somebody being eaten by a Trolloc in the trailer. There are gonna be deaths in the Two Rivers. And it's not really something I had thought of before. I don't know. If you had cornered me before this and asked me, did people die in the Winter Night attack? I would have been like, I guess. But I never thought about it. There's going to be deaths. It's not really revelation, but it's interesting, and I like it. So the other thought that I have, and this one, hey, this is not so much a thought that I have, it's a series of thoughts I have. I cannot decide my theory about this gorgeous scene that I played over and over and over again because I love it. This scene of Egwene coming out of the pool. It is stunning, it is beautiful, and I love it. And in my 32 Things Whatever video, I said that I was assuming this was her accepted test. That is still entirely possible. I know I've seen some people say that, no, if you look at this and then the scene of her jumping off the cliff with the braid, it's the same dress. Clothes don't matter when you're talking about the accepted test, because in the accepted test, she could be naked or wearing, like that happens in Nae'blis' accepted test. And so it doesn't matter, her clothes. If it's an accepted test, anything goes pretty much, because that's it's a Tel'aran'rhiod-esque experience. But it also still could be women's circle stuff. I go back and forth on it. Like, when I made that video, I came down pretty hard. Literally, when I watch other people's videos, I'm like, oh no, that's a good argument too, that it could be women's circle stuff, because they've aged them up. So it could be an initiation into the women's circle, and the women's circle just has these remnants of memory about the Aes Sedai. Although, well, I don't know. How long have these 7 Ajas existed? I'm not really big up on Wheel of Time history. Like, the stuff before the stories, you know, I know about Arthur Hawkwing and stuff, but, like, I'm not... So I don't know how long these Ajas have existed for that. Like, those 7 colors to have passed down to the Two Rivers. Who knows? But, okay, then there is, of course, a third option, which I also really like. And that this is a dream sequence. Because Egwene... Dreamer. She's a dreamer. So, yeah, this could very well be a scene from a dream. And all, I mean, with Tel'aran'rhiod on the table, and we know that it's on the table because of a question to an answer that... Question to an answer? Because of an answer to a question that someone asked Rafe Judkins, where he said, yeah, no, there's going to be Tel'aran'rhiod in the show. So, with Tel'aran'rhiod on the table, really that's, like, doors are wide open for scenes to be that. Now, obviously some of these are not Tel'aran'rhiod scenes, but, I mean, that is just another option on the table. The Aes Sedai rings. I think this is an ingenious way of dealing with something that I've talked about on my channel before. I do not remember what video it was, but where I talked about how I did not think that the ageless face would work. Because ageless face as a concept in the books is brilliant. It is not a thing in real life. And I know people are, like, right now, you're all typing Botox and plastic surgery and facelift. Those things do not make you look ageless. They make you look younger, or they make your face look still. But I know people who get Botox and stuff, and I'm not like, oh, are you 60 or are you 20 or are you 40? There are some people who have that kind of face, but it is not something that you can really replicate, just without making it look uncanny valley. So I honestly said that I think they're going to do away with it. And I think the ring is an ingenious way to get around this, because that ring is massive. Right? But if you don't know what an Aes Sedai ring is, then you're not going to recognize it. The ageless face is something that, you know, people see it, and if you know what you're looking for, and, like, if you know what an Aes Sedai looks like in the books, you can spot an Aes Sedai on sight. This ring replaces that. You can spot that on sight because it is massive and it is unique. It doesn't look like anything else. So I think that is an ingenious way to get around this, where you can take it off, just like you can put a hood up and hide your ageless face. You can take off your Aes Sedai ring. That was some weird emphasis on the wrong syllable there. But yeah, you can do that. So I think that's a really cool idea. Like it a lot. This one's actually not a really big one or whatever, but I've seen a lot of people mention this, like, water stain looking thing on the Amyrlin seat. Now that, like, I've seen people say that, okay, I can see that it kind of looks like a water stain, but when I first saw it, I just thought it was marble. Like, you know, I don't know what you call that, those threads of color that are in marble. I assumed it was a marble throne, and I assumed that it was just part of the coloring in marble. Just putting that out there. I could be wrong. Maybe there was a flood in Tar Valon, and the seat is stained. While we're on the Amyrlin seat, though, this was pointed out to me in the comments. Is that a paralystat in Swan's hair? Because that would be really cool if it was. I like the idea of it, so yeah. That would be nice. I'd approve. Sticking with the Amyrlin seat, another thing, a thought that I've had, and I've seen a few people have this thought, but if you saw my reaction, I got captivated by her tattoos. And just watching it over and over again, one of the thoughts that I had, like, a while ago, about, you know, before the trailer came out, is that in the books, the sea folk they're kind of useless. They don't really add very much to the story. They add, you know, color and diversity. I didn't mean it like that, but whatever. They add color and, like, diversity to the world, and I'm not meaning, like, ethnicity and race. They're just, like, a different type of culture. But plot-wise, they don't really add anything. And in fact, after a while, I get annoyed with them whenever they show up. I feel like, just get off the page. I want to get back to the actual story. You're just annoying. And so I thought for a while that they would get rid of the sea folk. But seeing these tattoos on Swan has me with a new theory that maybe the sea folk and the Tyrans will be folded in in with each other. They will be the same people. Or possibly Swan will be sea folk. And so that we will get to see the sea folk culture through her, but we don't have to, you know, have them abusing their teachers. As a teacher, I found that whole storyline really, really annoying, by the way. This Aiel in the cage, first of all, red hair. Like, again, zooming, slowing it down, the red hair. You can see the red hair. It's kind of cool. But this Aiel could be an Aiel that was sent over the Dragon Wall, to look for the Karakarn. In some questions, again, that Rafe answered, he mentioned that there will be elements from the first 3 books and from the prequel in this season. Now, just to alleviate some concerns, because there were some people in the comments previously who were like, they're going to cover 3 books in one season? How? That's not what he said. He said there are going to be elements brought in from these books in this, in the first season. So he's not saying that they're going to cover 3 books worth of plot. But one of those elements could be that the Aiel have already started coming over the Dragon Wall to look for the Cormor. Cormor. That is the sea folk. They've already they've come across looking for the Karakarn. Sorry, I'm tired. Getting out so many videos in such a short schedule is a lot. Okay, now this next one, I am annoyed. I am so annoyed that I didn't catch this and didn't figure this out on my own. Just to go back though, one of the amazing things and one of the best things about becoming a content creator, feels so weird to say that, but especially in this Wheel of Time space, is how wonderful and supportive the Wheel of Time community is, and the content creators specifically. Like we all get along, we like each other, and we talk and we chat like offline. Offline. We all live. I'm in Korea. Of course, I'm doing it online, but various ways. Like we communicate. We really like each other. And when one of my friends drops a video, like Vance, Bart of the Red Hand, or Rebecca reading the pattern, or Lauren unraveling the pattern, or Nae'blis from Nae'blis. Like whenever they drop a video, I'm like, oh yes, my buddy just dropped a video. I'm gonna watch it. Yes, and I get excited. But when it comes to like things like breakdowns of the same content, like typically when my friends drop a video, it is not about something that I am also making a video about. But because we're all talking about the same thing, I'm not watching their videos until I've made mine. And when I, like that 32 things in the trailer video, I set it to render and immediately went to watch Rebecca's video from Reading the Pattern. And she mentioned that this scene, where I was like, who the heck is Lan talking to? That it's Nynaeve. And of course it's Nynaeve. Of course it is. Like, even the look on his face, he looks kind of surprised, like he was caught off guard. I think she snuck up on him in the woods and he didn't know that she was there. And then, like, she maybe attacked him with a dagger, or maybe that's her thumping stick. Is that Nynaeve's thumping stick? I had that on my bingo card. Anyway, that's obviously what it is. It makes perfect sense that, she's come to be like, give me the kids back that you stole, you kidnapping person and whatever. And he's like, no, the Dark One is coming for your friends. Of course it's Nynaeve. I'm an idiot. This is a fun one again. Not watching other people's videos before mine, although this one I think dropped after mine, but whatever. Lauren, Unraveling the Pattern, pointed out that there was a braid tug. We got a Nynaeve braid tug. Now, somebody else pointed out that there was an Egwene braid tug, like right at the beginning. I'll find it, put it up here, where she's being pushed off the cliff. She grabs her braid. And I saw that and thought, okay, didn't take it off my bingo card because it's the wrong braid. Like, I knew what I meant. You knew what I meant. Everybody knew what I meant. I wanted a Nynaeve braid tug. Funeral shot. There's a Nynaeve braid tug. I'm calling it. I'm taking that. Bingo card. Yes. Another thing I just didn't notice until other people pointed it out. In this shot here of Logain, where he's being shielded, if you look at his back, look at all that writhy black stuff. I think that this is the taint, but there is some speculation that that is going to be what Saidin looks like, which would also be kind of cool if it does. I know a lot of people have, not a lot, actually most people seem to be, at least most of the reaction that I've seen, have seen people liking the way channeling looks, but there are some people who didn't like it. I like it. I know that, a lot of us, and even in my mind, I pictured the Wheeze with colors, but when I try and actually think about what that would look like on screen, I have in my mind, the idea of a bunch of colored streams flowing through the air. It literally kind of ends up looking like a pride parade, which, hey, love a pride parade, but don't want that to be what weaving the one power looks like. It doesn't have to be bright, I guess, but if it's so subtle, then what's the point of showing it? Like, if it's going to be so subtle, these subtle, colors, then I don't quite get what the point of it is. So they would have to be bright enough to be observed, which to me, I feel like would make them look cartoony. But I could be wrong. Again, I am not a special effects person. I feel like a newbie at just basic video editing. So maybe there's something that I have not thought of. All right. So another one that I noticed on multiple rewatches, and I'm sure if you've been watching these videos, other people have pointed this out long before me. First scene we see Matt in, he has dice, and he has a dice cup. Now, this is first of all, it's just great character work. I love it. It's perfect. But I also had a thought that maybe they are introducing this early so that you know, we get it as like a habit of his where he shakes dice in a cup so that we hear the sound. Because the whole, like, he hears the dice in his head thing, again, it was one of those things that I thought they would do away with in the books, because that's it's weird. You know, I don't know. It's just a very weird thing. Like, he hears a sound in his head as if, you know, to warn him or to give him a heads up that something's about to happen. But if they introduce the sound early and then they sort of can stylize it, later on they could use it. Like, it wouldn't have to actually be maybe the sound of dice in a cup, but you could make something that sort of, the word I want to use here is it sort of rhymes with the sound of dice in the cup, so that we can get that feeling later on when that becomes a part of his character. It's a cool idea. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if they're going to do that. Obviously, I don't know if any of this is true. Why am I even qualifying that? I don't work for Amazon. But it's a cool idea if they do it. I think that's like a great way to be able to bring in this thing that I thought would be impossible. Jumping in again, because there was another thing on my list that I just forgot. Told you, my notes were a bit scattershot. Not organized these days. Putting up videos fast. But okay. There was a theory going around that Stepan and Elias are going to be folded into each other. And I understand why they would do that. That is an efficient way to, you know, use these characters. They have Peter Franzen, big actor. Don't want to waste him on a character that's just going to disappear, right? So I can understand that. Plus, it's efficient. Elias was actually a warder, so this makes sense. This is a change that, if this theory is right, like most of the theories that I hear about, they're intriguing, right? I'm okay with changes. The TV show is not canon to me, right? If the TV show does something different from the books, and I think I like the books better, I'm gonna think about it the way the books are. The books are the books. They aren't gonna disappear because of something that happened on the TV show. But this change makes me a little nervous because it might change something about what we know about the Warder Bond. Now, I did say spoilers, so I'm going to be talking a bit of spoilers here. We see this through characters. I'm going to be, in case somebody didn't listen to me, I'm going to be as vague as possible here. But there are warders that we see whose Aes Sedai dies, and we see the darkness and the depression that they experience. We see them having to fight to not choose to die, because that's how that bond works. If Stepan's Aes Sedai dies early on in the season, and then he's Perrin's wolf guide, that sort of takes away from that when it happens later, because later on we do see this, and it's supposed to be really impactful, but if we're like, well, not really a big deal, Stepan was fine, I don't want that to be a thing. This one makes me a little bit nervous. I could be wrong. Again, all of these, just speculation. I have previously put on a tinfoil hat. I'm going to do it again. After watching this over and over again and seeing, this scene where Logain breaks out of his shield, and apparently I think this is where Karina Nagashi dies in this scene, because you can kind of see her crash into the wall here. But I think what they're doing, and I think it's a really cool idea. We already knew that they were going to expand Logan's storyline. I think what they are going to be doing is using Logain to show the danger of male channelers, to show the prejudice towards male channelers, to show maybe some madness or some of the foulness of the taint, because they can show that through him before it becomes a thing with Lance or with Rand, so that we can see why he is so anxious later. But this is my tinfoil hat theory. I think that the show might actually try to have us believe that he is the Dragon Reborn. Because I think it's going to start with him captured. And then he is going to escape. Like, we know that they're going to drop 3 episodes. Maybe he escapes at the end of those 3 episodes or something. And, that's when we get this funeral and the crying over the ring and stuff. And then from then on, the show is going to progress with, Moraine knows that he's not the dragon, but she doesn't say anything because whatever. But the narrative makes it seem like he's the dragon. And then it would end with him getting caught, and somehow the Rand reveal that Rand is able to channel and he's the dragon, and holy crap, we've just watched what happened with Logain, how everybody hated him, how everybody feared him, how the world basically worked together to capture him and instill him. And then there's this lovable, affable boy that we've all come to like, and then we find out at the end that, no, he's the guy. This guy that we've liked all this time. That's my tinfoil hat theory about how they're going to do this. And I think it's a really cool way to get the information out there with, the, that whole show don't tell thing. Like, we don't need long conversations where people explain the taint. We can just show it through Logain. I think that's a really, really cool idea. Don't know if I'm right. Could be wrong. Still like it as a theory. All right, so this last thing on my my notes, well, it's not last actually, but I'm making it the last because it is probably the most controversial theory that I have, and I'm quite nervous about it. I'm hoping that I'm wrong. But okay, we see this is Shadar Logoth, right? Like this creepy city. I also think that this city that you can see across the river on a landscape shot here is also Shadar Logoth. And I actually, again, doing frame by frame, I'm such a nerd, doing frame by frame watches. Initially when I saw this, I thought they were walking towards Shadar Logoth, and I'm not particularly visual, but it was weird to me that they were walking towards Shadar Logoth and there appeared to be a river between where they were in the city. That didn't make any sense. Also, that there were only two of them, again, didn't make any sense. Slowing it down, look, they're walking away from it. That's Rand and Mat walking away from Shadar Logoth. So that's the river. And that's the wall around the city. And we see this scene of Egwene running up the stairs and Mashadar is coming behind her. The wall is on the water. There's that audio clip from a while ago where Perrin and Egwene were like, "Are you ready? Okay." And then I think that was the end of the clip. I can't remember exactly. But that could be what this is, right? Are you ready? Okay. And then they jump in the water and they swim across. That makes sense based on what we're seeing here. Here's the thing about that I don't, like, it freaks me out. Bella. Where the hell is Bella? Bella is not there. Like, Bella is climbing up the wall and jumping off the wall into the river? No. So, are we gonna lose Bella? All right. So on that incredibly depressing note, I'm gonna end this video here. I don't know. I hope we don't lose Bella. I hope the creator is part of the show, because, I mean, it's Bella. What was the Empire article? She called her like a horse god or whatever. I want Bella in the show. But it isn't the craziest, upsetting, most tinfoily hat thing that I have had a thought about. So, gonna end this here. If you have any thoughts that you've come up with after watching the trailer like a million times, let me know in the comments below. And if you want to talk about it in more detail, come join me on Discord. We're talking about this trailer nonstop over there. So please come be a part of the party. And if you like my channel, like what I do, please consider checking out my Patreon. So grateful to my patrons. Like, really, it is motivating that people want to support me. So thank you guys so, so much. And with that, I am going to end this here. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!